with depression. It's not funny. People always laugh when I say that. I have genuinely, you're looking at me like, where's he going with this? What's the punchline? There's no punchline. I've genuinely been suffering with depression. I'm depressed and I'm suicidal. This isn't stand-up comedy, this is therapy. And it's kind of a bit odd for me being up here because my usual audience is back rooms of really nasty pubs to basically a room full of alcoholics and MILFs. And I've actually got quite nice people here tonight, which, if I didn't have really low self-esteem, would probably worry me with some of the amoral, perverse, violent sexual imagery I'm about to unleash upon you. Oh well. People say to me, why are you depressed? 2 words. Past attacks. Slow burner, that one. Got to laugh over there, it was a bit late. I'm also a Wolves fan. Yeah. The only team who have to employ Carol Vorderman to work out the goals against. But I'm also... Just give me a minute, because this is just a little bit... It's just a little bit... I need to get... I come from Darlaston. I just feel dirty. If you've ever been to Darlaston, then sorry. If you've never been to Darlaston, don't. All you will find in Darlaston is just gangs of 17-year-olds dressed up to the nines in stuff that they've stolen from the bargain basement of Sports Direct. Just wandering around, desperately trying to fire their cracker semen into the cavernous, disease-ridden vagina of whatever fat shag girl happens to be walking past them at the time, in the vain hope that the fetus can survive 9 months of drug abuse and domestic violence before popping out unloved and unwanted but able to provide its family with an extra £13.50 to spend on crack cocaine. That is all you'll find in Darlaston. That and then Asda. Sorry, it's hard to get that out. But I do have to get it out of the way early that I am kind of feeling like this. It's like you, Maddie. You're very nice. What's your name? Laura. Laura, you're very nice hair. You look like a very, very nice person. But basically, if you don't laugh at me tonight, I'm going to top myself. And I'm actually going to name you in the suicide note. So no pressure. Yeah, no pressure. So basically what's going to now happen is everything I say, Laura's going to look at me and go, ha! Ha! 1 down, 29 to go. I'm actually going to take 1 bit out because you're really, really nice and you really don't need to hear about headless torsos in the canal. I am genuinely going to take that bit out. Being depressed, I found the Samaritans, because that's what you do when you're depressed, isn't it? You found the Samaritans. The trouble is, the Samaritans have outsourced their phone lines because the coalition cuts. You know, a bank goes to the government and says, we need £48 trillion that we can hive away for ourselves and not give to anyone. And the government go, oh yeah, we'll print you some fucking money out for that. But when the Samaritans go to the government and say, can we have 45 quid to run a phone line out of Wolverhampton, they go, fuck off, what have you ever done to help anybody? So basically the Samaritans have had to outsource their phone lines to Afghanistan. So I phone them up and I get Ahmed. And I'm like, Ahmed, I'm depressed, I need help, I'm suicidal. And he got really excited and said, we've got a van, you can drive her to checkpoint. The thing is, I'm a bloke and we don't talk about these sort of problems. I am a bloke, I've got a penis and everything. And I thought I need some help. So I went to see my best mate, Matt. I said, Matt, now to give you a clue, he's my best mate, right? When I was like 17, 18, Matt stole one of those A-frames, you know, the ones that are outside news agents. They've got the, you know, the latest headlines on. He stole one of the A-frames and he put it outside my house with the sign on it saying, latest, Dave Pitt is a twat. And my dad blamed me. And I'm like, Dad, of the 6.5 billion people on the planet, the one person you can take off the list is me. And my dad said, it must have been you, it had your name on it. But anyway, this is my best mate. No wonder I'm suicidal. Okay? I said to him, look, be genuine, honest now, I'm depressed, I'm suicidal, I need some help. And he said to me, up the road, not across the street. Which wasn't really the help I was looking for. So, I went to the doctors, and the doctor put me on antidepressants. Now, statistically, there's going to be at least 2 people in this room that have either been on them or on them. I'm one. There's going to be someone else. I'm not going to ask who it is, it's a sensitive subject. But when you go on antidepressants, there are side effects. And call me a stickler, but let's say you go and get some medication for athlete's foot. And the side effects are nausea, head will fall off. Right? I think head will fall off should be first on the list. I want to know about that before I want to know about nausea. So these are genuinely side effects from antidepressants. Let's see if they've put them in order of importance. Headaches, nausea, trapped wind, yellowing of the skin, loss of libido. Right. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Dave, we can see you. Why do you need a libido? Yes, ladies, it is true. I have a face like a bulldog licking piss off a thistle. It's also true that I have the dental health hygiene programme of a rabid Alsatian that eats its own shit. And it is also true that I've been known to kill mountain goats from 20 yards away with my body odor alone. However, every so often I like to have sex. I am married, as hard as that is to believe. And my sex life basically consists of once every 6 months, when I can afford the Rohypnol, I drug my wife, flop myself on top of her, rub my cheese-covered pencil dick up and down her inner thigh for about 43 seconds, at which point I will shoot my watery ejaculate over her side of the bed. At which point I will then roll off, so all she can see through her semi-comatose eyes is my hairy back. I will then snore for 10 hours before waking up and insisting that she makes me a cup of tea. When I am being romantic, I look into her eyes and I say, it rubs the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. What I'm trying to say, ladies, is I'm not George Clooney. But that little brief sexual liaison once every 6 months makes me feel a little less like a bug on the shoe of humanity than I usually do. But there are 2 more side effects. Absolute, genuine side effects of antidepressants. Those 2 side effects are depression and suicidal tendencies. I shit you not. So I went back to my doctors, and my doctor's first words to me were, "How are you getting on the happy pills?" Happy pills. When I came to you 2 months ago, I was depressed and suicidal. Right now, I'm still depressed, I'm still suicidal, but I've got a headache, I keep farting, I feel sick, I can't get a hard on, and I look like fucking Homer Simpson. So I had to basically do something. I had to come off the tablets, and I needed to do something. I've got a problem. And what I decided I was going to do was do more stand-up gigs. Because if I say shit and you laugh, I feel really good. And that means I'm going to go home tonight and I'm not going to stick a razor blade around my throat. And tonight, you know, it ain't been a great gig, but you know, you've laughed and I'm not going to go home and top myself. So thank you very much, Wolverhampton. Thank you. What I will do is leave you with a joke, because we ain't had one yet. And it's, I know it's as hard as it is to believe with my act, it's clean as well. And the reason I always end my routine on a joke, and the reason is I have this, and this is genuine, I have this thing where, you know when you get jokes now, you never tell them, you always text them or you email them. You never actually sit there and tell people a joke. And I think that's a real shame because we're going to lose the art of joke telling. So what I want to do is tell you a joke on the deal that you go away tomorrow, when you go to work, when you go to sign on, and you tell this joke to people, okay? And let's make sure the art of joke telling doesn't die. So, we can just get some water. It's a bit wordy, but stick with it. It's called a Colin joke, okay? There's this guy called Colin, and he's at work, and he's always saying at work, I know everybody on it. Everybody on the planet, I know. And this one day his boss says to him, Colin, you're doing my head in. There is no way you can know everybody on the planet. I know everybody on the planet. There's no way you can know everybody on the planet. It's ridiculous. Stop saying it. So Colin says, okay, I'll prove it. Who do you want to meet? So his boss thinks, okay, top of his head. Right, David Cameron. Yeah, no, David Cameron, known him for years. So they jump in the boss's car, they drive down to London, they get to 10 Downing Street, there's the coppers at 10 Downing Street. Colin walks up, coppers go, Colin, how are you? He goes, oh, I'm alright, brought the boss down to meet David Cameron. Oh, he's in a cabinet meeting, I'd love to see you. He was only talking about you yesterday. So they go into 10 Downing Street, walk into the cabinet office, then we're all having a cabinet meeting. They all jump up, David Cameron, the entire cabinet. Colin, how are you, mate? Coming in. And you know, they all meet up and have a meal there. And Colin's boss says, "Okay, fair enough. You know David Cameron. I think that was a fluke. Okay, this will impress me. Barack Obama." Colin says, "No, Barack Obama for years. Let's go." And drive to Heathrow, jump on a plane, go to Washington DC. Get to the White House, walk up to the Secret Service agents outside the White House, they all see them and go, Colin, how are you, son? Come in. He goes, oh, you've just brought the boss over to meet Barack, is he? Yeah, oh, he was just talking about you last week, he'll love to see you. So they go into the Oval Office, as soon as they're walking, Barack Obama jumps up, Colin, how are you, son? Come in. Hugs him, gives him a drink, they have a meal, everything's all hunky-dory, and his boss says to him after that, okay, I admit it, you know everybody. But I was brought up a nice Catholic boy. There's one person I'd love to meet, and that's the Pope. Colin says, I've known the Pope for years, come on, let's go. So they jump on a plane, go off to Rome, get to Vatican City. There's 250,000 people in Vatican City waiting for the Pope's address. Colin says, look, you're never going to get the Pope's eyeball in here. So I'll tell you what I'll do. You wait here. I'll dash through the crowd, get up to the guards at the front. They all know me. I'll go in. I'll come out on the balcony with the Pope. And then after he's done his speech, I'll come down and get you and we'll meet him. His boss says, yeah, okay. So Colin, go. 20 minutes later, there's a massive cheer. The Pope comes out on the balcony and he's got his arm round Colin. And the Pope gives his address. Colin comes downstairs, goes back to where his boss was. Just an ambulance there. So he looks in the back of the ambulance and there's his boss in the back of the ambulance. Ill, he's alive, he's conscious, but he's ill. And he says to his boss, what happened? He says, I had a heart attack. He says, you had a heart attack? He says, I've had a heart attack. What happened? His boss says, I was alright when you come out on the balcony with the Pope. It was when the guy next to me said, who's that on the balcony with Colin? Thank you. Sorry, I was supposed to do this as well. Please put your hands together for someone with fantastic facial topiary. Rob Jackson!